decision to exit the TV display business was finalized in 2024.
Japanese electronics giant Sharp saw its shares fall further after it reported a huge loss for the year and said it might not be able to survive on its own. At the same time, Fitch
Cutting-edge tech, but some asset managers observe the business model is not profitable. As part of a 3-year restructuring plan, the company says it may seek a partner for its TV business.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is HUMAIRA binti HALIM. Today I will be presenting my topic, that is From Crisis to Renewal, How Layoffs Reshape Organizational Development. In this presentation, we will look at the real-world restructuring of Sharp Corporation. We will analyze how severe downsizing, even though it is painful, it can actually act as a necessary catalyst to help a company achieve strategic growth and digital information. To guide us through this case study, let's look at how we navigate the organizational development journey. This journey follows 3 major steps. First, we have the unsustainable model. This is when external market pressure make the company's own way of doing business financially unviable. Second is strategic downsizing. This involves painful but highly targeted workforce and asset reduction to completely halt systematic financial losses. Third is becoming leaner and smarter. This is the final renewal phase where the company reboots its corporate DNA to be agile, digital first and ready to future market realities. Let's dive into the first step. The crisis. As we can see, Sharp experienced severe external pressure that pushed them to a financial tipping point. The trigger event was intense global price competition. This competition completely collapsed the market demand for LCD displays, making traditional hardware manufacturing financially fatal for Sharp. Because of this, the company reached a massive tipping point, recording a staggering 149.9 billion yen loss. This proved that their legacy business model could not survive. Because the company was bleeding money, operation had to be halted. They closed factories and laid off thousands of workers. Now, from an organizational development perspective, how do you evaluate this? We should see this as a strategic necessity over blind cost cutting. This means the layoff were actually a deliberate surgical removal of an unprofitable legacy division. It was done to clear away the heavy organizational weight that was holding the entire company back from moving forward. After stopping the financial bleeding, Sharp completely shifted into business model. They moved away from heavy manufacturing and adopted an asset-light strategy. Let's look at the difference. The old model relied heavily on manufacturing complete ownership of massive factories, astronomically high fixed costs, and a very rigid structure. Next, the new model, however, used a flat and agile structure. Sharp offload their high-risk hardware units and focus on strategic partnership instead. This drastically reduced their overhead costs. The result of this downsizing is a smaller, high flexible entity that can execute strategies at maximum velocity. This brings us to the renewal phase, where Sharp began rebuilding its organizational DNA with a new tech-driven identity. We can see these transformations in 3 main pillars. First, the organizational structure. They shift away from a slow, hierarchical structure to flat, fast communication. Second, the talent strategy and corporate culture. Instead of relying on manual labor for factories, they transitioned to upskilling and hiring for digital skills. Third, the product focus. They shift away from basic display manufacturing to focus on smart ecosystem, aligning with the new corporate vision to be in step with the future. To conclude my presentation, we can see that downsizing functions as a radical catalyst for future survival. We can summarize this using 3 simple points. First, the pain. We must acknowledge that layoffs are a severe and painful consequence of systematic business crisis. Second, the purpose. However, When a company deploy them strategically, layoff do not mean the end. They function as a radical catalyst for true organizational development. Third, the proof. Sharp's 2024 pivot proves that smart entities use precious downsizing to shed outdated, heavy operational model to secure long-term survival in the market. Thank you so much for your time.